What's up, Rockstars? Coach Betty Rocker here. Welcome to this low impact sculpt workout. So you'll need some weighted objects, some space to move, maybe an elevated surface would come in handy, and any range of weighted objects that you would like to work with. We're going to be working in an 8 to 12 rep range, but if you are more comfortable in a different rep range, be my guest and work in that rep range. Use the weighted objects or equipment that is comfortable to you. For this low impact workout, I encourage you to be warmed up as you come into this first circuit. We're going to start out with some squats. Great lower body move to get us really into it. Like I mentioned, it's 8 to 12 reps, so I like to start at the higher end of the rep range as I'm getting into it, like some amount of resistance that's going to put me up closer to 12 reps, right? So that's going to help me calibrate the amount of resistance I might want to use, safely picking up my weights from the floor, keeping them in close to my body. And I'm going to step my feet out just about hip distance, maybe slightly wider. Bring the shoulders back and down in their sockets. And you could keep your weights at your sides or put them right up on your shoulders. My toes, one of my toes tends to duck out slightly, and then we sit down and then we come straight back up. One thing I like to think about with a squat is that I'm pressing the earth away from me as I squat, which really helps to activate your glutes, fire them up. Each time I squat, I'm bracing that core and my knees are tracking in alignment with my toes. Now, if you are ever unsure of your squat form, one of my favorite ways to check in with it is to tap my butt down to an elevated surface that's about the height of my knees to guide me in my form as I come in and out of my squat. This never gets old for me. I don't care how advanced I am as a trainer. Having this cue helps me check in and make sure my form is really on point. And as we load the weight up heavier and heavier over time as we build strength, it's helpful to make sure we're doing that on a strong foundation. So when you're done and you get to the top of your set, don't let me rush you, set your weights aside safely. And a trick I really like when I'm setting weights on the floor is coming down into that lunge and then setting them down. It's really safe. Picking them up the same way can be really helpful. Now we're going to move on to our next move, which is for your back and your chest at the same time. Just gonna have a quick hit of my Rock and Restore aminos. Got some collagen and creatine in the mix in there to help really support my body in lots of different ways. I'll put some links below today's class if you're interested in reading about these supplements. Of course, be my guest. They're really just a bonus. Second move here, renegade rows, and I'm gonna do them elevated, because I think it's a great way to really tune into that core alignment and just make sure, but you can also do them in a kneeling elevated position, right? So find something that's, maybe knee height, and we're gonna grab a weighted object, and you might just be trying to decide what the right amount of resistance is for you for this one. So be conservative here, try it out, and we'll come up into an elevated plank with one hand below us. And then from here, we're just gonna row one side up for 8 to 12 reps. Now, if you've chosen a weight that enables you to go well beyond that 12, just go to your fatigue point, and in our next set, you can use something a little heavier. It's better to test it out, right? Now, if you feel like you have too much pressure on your wrist in this position while you're pressing down, or you're not comfortable here, come down to that kneeling pose. Check in to make sure that your shoulder's not rounded forward. Make sure you have a good, strong alignment here. Building up strength for these things and making sure our form is good over time. It takes some time, right? So I'm making sure that I have good, even balance driving down through my hand. You could also take a soft fist if that happened to be comfortable for you at all. And you really want to make sure that your back is straight, your hips are square, and you're going to even out your reps on both sides. Great job. If you prefer to do this kneeling, you could also take the kneeling pose down on the mat. You don't have to be elevated. You might prefer that. Could be a little less weight on your hands. So if that happens to be an option you want to try next, please be my guest. Next move, we are going to activate and fire up those glutes. And you may have seen this move before. It's really fun. It's like a donkey kickback. So you're going to come down onto that tabletop position and grab a weighted object and place it in your knee crease. And from here, we're just gonna kick our foot up towards the ceiling. Now, if this isn't comfortable and you have ankle weights, by all means, feel free to use the ankle weights and use that as your weight. A couple things to keep in mind here in this tabletop position is that your core is braced, that your pelvis is square. And I'm not super worried about the perfect rep range for you here. I want you to find something that's comfortable to have in your knee crease first and foremost. If we go too heavy with this one, it can feel really uncomfortable. So I want you to just, find that sweet spot where you're able to really fatigue your glute muscle while you're kicking up. And you can think about pressing up with your heel, and just go for as many reps as possible with the resistance you have that feels comfortable, and just maybe keep track of that. Great job. Now when you get to the top of your rep range, I felt my glutes were like super burning right there. I'm gonna switch it over to the other side. You do you. You can stop before me or after me, and we're gonna do an even number of reps. So whatever you hit on the first side, let's hit that on the opposite side. Work to keep your head and neck nice and neutral here so that you're not cranking your head up or down. Keep that pelvis nice and stable. Don't let it rotate. And keep that core braced and aligned. You got this. Nice. Kicking it up, lowering it down. These low impact sculpting moves are so effective, right? We just want to have that mind-muscle connection. So I want you to think about your glute working here. Your glute is activating and firing up. Oh my gosh. Keep up the great work. When you get to the top of your rep range, you're going to set aside your weighted object. Don't let me rush you. Do as many reps as you can and use that information to calibrate for next time. Maybe you're like, I think I would be comfortable with something a little heavier there, and then I could do a few less reps and it would be more challenging. Be my guest, right? But I don't want you to hurt your knee. That's all. So great job. That was your first round done with our first circuit. Let's go back to the top and do a second set of squats. So take a look back to see where you left off, and if you want to change the amount of resistance, if you want to maybe take it a little bit lower in reps, you could go a little heavier in weight. So see what would get you in maybe that 8 to 10 rep range this set. Challenge yourself if you have that opportunity. And just like I was telling you, I'm using this chance to stay in that sort of kneeling position here to pick up my weighted objects so that I can keep them in close to my body as I come up to standing. Stepping the feet out to about hip distance, maybe slightly wider. Noticing if my feet want to duck out slightly. Bracing that core, sending the hips back as if I were to sit down, and then driving the earth away from me, squeezing the glutes at the top. Core is braced as I work through this, which helps to stabilize my pelvis. Great job. Come on, rock stars. You got this. Awesome. Feel free to continue to use that box to tap your glutes down to help really isolate and stabilize your form. I'm also lifting up through my toes to make sure I don't come up onto them as I work on this, helping to really balance out that posterior chain as we work through this. Nice job. When you get to the top of your rep range, set your weighted objects down safely with control, keeping them in close to your body to help protect your back. Nice. My heart rate went up on those. Awesome job. Always take the time you need in between your rounds and your sets. If I'm going a little too fast, feel free to pause the video. And if I'm going a little too slow for you, I'm sorry. I probably just needed more recovery that day. Feel free to do a little stretching in between and we'll get right back to the workout. Awesome job. Renegade rows. So just a quick reminder, if you didn't like how it felt when you were elevated and you want to try it on the floor, you certainly can, either up on your toes or in a kneeling position. Either of these are going to challenge you, so just make sure you're not in any pain or none of these body mechanics feel uncomfortable to you. So come on into your tall plank or your kneeling plank, brace your right hand below your body in a stable position, and we're just rowing up. Nice. I could have you be doing push-ups and then rows, but I've got this. I like this one today. We're good. You got this. Go to the top of your rep range on your first side, and then you're gonna switch it out. This is a tough move. Like, I wasn't kidding. Like, I'm not playing here. You have a very challenging move here to do. So hang in there, use good form, align your head and neck with your spine, and even out your reps on both sides. Keep your hips nice and square, don't let them roll open. And when you get to the top of your rep range, you can set aside those weighted objects. Great job. Smoke show, you're nailing this workout. We're gonna get into our donkey kickback next. So here's another chance to consider how the weight you chose for the first round felt for you. Do you wanna go a little heavier? Was it just right? Totally up to you. If you wanna change anything, you're also welcome to change which side you start with. If you want to, just bring yourself into a comfortable tabletop, brace your core, get that weight in your knee crease or put on your ankle weights, and we're just gonna lift and lower. Now, I want you to notice how flat my back is, how stable my pelvis is. I want that for you too. I want your hips to stay really square. I want your back to stay very flat. See if you can get your head and neck in alignment with your back. And you're just playing around with the amount of resistance in your knee crease that feels challenging for you, but not painful, of course. You could put like a t-shirt in your knee crease to protect it from the weight if that was something you wanted to try, if you wanted to make the weight heavier, but if your knee's sensitive, I just want you to be comfortable when you do this because it's such an effective way to really target your glutes and really sculpt and strengthen the glute max in particular. So keep up the great work. Switch sides when you're ready, lifting that foot and lowering it down. No arched back. Keep the core braced. You got this, Rockstar. Come on. So strong. When you get to the top of your rep range and you've evened out your reps on both sides, you can, of course, move your weighted objects out of the way. And we're gonna roll through those 3 moves one more time. Awesome job. Whew. Stay hydrated or have yourself some aminos. I use the aminos specifically to help provide my body with some bonus amino acids, especially essential aminos, the ones my body can't make on its own. And since I'm in my late 40s, I know that my body's not absorbing the aminos from the protein foods I eat as easily anymore. So I'm just looking for ways to bonus boost my amino acids in my system, especially during a workout where I want access to them. So again, it's a bonus, not required. So coming into our 3rd and final set of squats for today, here's another opportunity to up the challenge for yourself. Do you want to maybe go a little heavier and hit a little bit less reps this time? Like what would it take to get you down closer to that 8 rep range? See if you can do that. And if you don't have anything that's heavy enough, well, I'll show you a couple ideas for making it feel heavier. So we'll step our feet out about hip distance. Option to duck the feet out. I mean, that just happens naturally. You don't have to have them be perfectly parallel. Core is braced. We send the hips back. Everything's aligned and we powerfully come back up. Now, what you can do to make your weights feel heavier is to actually pause at the bottom of your squat briefly and then come back up, which will definitely make your glutes work just a little bit harder. But it also calls on a lot of back and core strength when you do that. I mean, a squat already calls on those muscle groups, but when you pause, it makes everything work that much harder, right? So that's just another idea for you to try out in case you're feeling like, well, I can't really get down to 8 reps. You know, I could do a lot more reps with this amount of resistance. So try out that little hack. I love it. Another hack that I like is pulsing at the base, but I like the pause first and then I'll add the pulses later on. I'm definitely feeling this with the pause. Great job, Rockstar. Whatever you're doing, whether you're repping them out, whether you're pausing, it's all good. Go to the top of your rep range and then safely set your weights aside when you're done. Great job. My heart rate always goes up with those squats. Woo, they feel good. Oh my gosh, somebody is so good at resting. So good at resting. Yes, so good. Be sure you're resting in between your sets as well, however much you need. We'll move into our 3rd and final set for today of renegade rows. Option to elevate option to be down on the mat, your choice. See how much resistance you want to try out this time. Anytime you're doing a single side, you're welcome to lead with an opposite side as you work through it. It might be helpful if you are in an elevated plank to separate your feet a little bit more. It might make you feel a little more stable. Because you're on just one hand, there is that tendency to rotate the hips. So your core has to work extra hard in this position to stabilize you. Your back is working. You are working your upper back, of course, on the side that you're rowing with. Be sure to drop to your knees to reset for your opposite side when you get there. And stay focused, keep breathing. This low impact workout is making me sweat. Great job. Thanks for doing this with me. We got this. Finish it strong on this second side when you get there, and set aside your weights when you are done. We've got one last set of kickbacks to go. Whew. So check in with yourself to see, what the right amount of resistance might be for this move, and set yourself up for success in that tabletop position. Brace your core, stabilize your pelvis. You could use ankle weights or, of course, your dumbbell, good old-fashioned dumbbell in the knee crease. And we're just driving that heel up towards the ceiling without arching our back or changing our back position. Nice. I find that it's really helpful to have a mirror to check my form in the first time I do any of these moves, or even as I'm continuing to practice them. All different kinds of things can disrupt our form. So it's always great to keep an eye on it. Just like I use my squat form to a box occasionally to check in, having a visual cue like the mirror can be really helpful. So get your weighted object in your opposite knee crease when you get to the top of your rep range on your first side. And really, I'm just encouraging you on this one to do as many reps as you can with whatever weight is comfortable for you in your knee crease. And you know that we're working on an 8 to 12 rep range with some of these other moves, but it would be totally fine if you were higher reps for this one, just because of the sort of delicate area behind your knee. I just want you to be comfortable there. There's not a lot of muscle covering it. So if you have a heavy weight back there, it can be uncomfortable. So just take care of your body. Don't force anything. You can always do more reps. Woo! When you get to the top of that rep range, set aside your weighted objects. We're going to move into our second circuit now. Great job. Crushing it. We've got some 45-degree biceps curls coming at you next. So why don't you take a look at the equipment options that you have and decide what amount of resistance you want to use to get into an 8 to 12 rep range with your curls. So once you have that figured out, I'll stand tall and I'm going to curl out to the side here. So first thing I do is bring my shoulders back and down, brace the core, stand tall, turn my palms out, and then I'm curling out to the side instead of straight up towards my chest, right? I'm curling out to the side. Great job. Breathe in as you come down. Breathe out as you come up. Great job. Elbows should be able to stay in close to your body as you work through this. And when you get to the top of your rep range, you can set aside those weights. Again, just thinking about how to safely pick them up and set them down so your body's in good alignment. Don't let me rush you here. Take your time. We're going to target our lower body next, targeting the hamstrings a bit and the back so we can really even out this workout for ourselves. We've got some deadlifts. Love the deadlift. Love, love, love it. You probably practiced deadlifts with me before. So this is the stiff-legged deadlift. So we start out with our feet about hip distance apart, grabbing our weights, having them here at our upper thighs, shoulders come back, and then we're going to pretend our butt is a hinge in a door and our back is the door opening and closing. We're sliding those weights down our shins and then pressing the hips forward as we come back. So the door opens and closes, opens and closes. And why I use that analogy is because I want you to think about your legs like the door frame. So they don't bend, right? So they're gonna stay nice and straight. Your hips are the hinge. Keep your core braced as you work through this. Now, of course, we're in an 8 to 12 rep range, but you may find that your glutes and your hamstrings are really strong, and you could do way more reps than you have the weight for, right? And if that happens to you, well, in our second round, I'll practice some single leg deadlifts with you to give you that option. But both legs down, also fantastic. So just do what you have equipment for and spaces for, and keep those weights in close to your shins. If you're using a barbell for this, you're gonna be very mindful keeping that bar in close to your shins as you work through your reps. Great job. Woo. Take a breather when you get to the top of your rep range for those awesome deadlifts. Catch your breath. And we've got a triceps move coming up next. So I'm going to do this one seated. So my little elevated surface is going to come in handy. And I like this move a lot. It's just, there's a lot of ways you can do triceps variations. If there's a variation of triceps extensions or kickbacks or something that really doesn't feel good to you, I really encourage you to work on opening your chest. Go back to Foundations of Functional Fitness. Work on the Activation Trinity, which is the very first video, which has you doing cactus arms on the floor to really help open the chest. One of the main culprits in that issue comes from, an imbalanced rotator cuff. So we really want to work on that. But my point was, if there's a move you don't like, try a different variation. So this variation today is one a lot of people like. You can take 2 weights or you can take 1. We're going to press them up overhead, and then we're going to just keep our elbows hugging in close to each other as we press the weights up and then lower them back down behind our head. Nice. You could be holding 1 single weight, or you could hold 2, pressing them together. And count your reps. I'd love you to be in that 8 to 12 rep range for this move. Great job. Come on. Make sure that you have your chest nice and open as you get into this one. And it's okay if your weights don't stay sticking together or touching. It's okay if they move a little bit. Mine did. And when you get to the top of your rep range, you can set them off to the side. And we'll go back to our curls. Coming right up on it. Great job. You're working right through this workout. Awesome, awesome work. So, next set of curls, check in with yourself. How did you like that first set? Did you want to change the amount of resistance that you used, or did it feel just perfect? Let's go ahead and stand tall, bringing those shoulders back and down, bracing the core as we curl out to the side and lower down. And a trick for you, if you're finding that your weights are not feeling heavy enough for your bicep curls, is to do the eccentric contraction. Right now, as we bring the origin and insertion points of the biceps muscle closer to each other, we are doing a concentric contraction. An eccentric contraction is where we contract as we bring those 2 heads apart from each other, and that's slowly lowering them down. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do too many more now. That's very fatiguing. So it's just a little bonus hack that you could try if you wanted to make your lighter weights feel heavier. You just slowly lower down as you come down in the descent. Got it? Awesome. Now we're going to move into our second set of deadlifts and the stiff-legged deadlift. And I thought you might enjoy trying out a single leg deadlift this time if you don't have equipment that's heavy enough for you to be in an 8 to 12 rep range for the regular deadlift. So we'll try a side stance today, because I think a lot of people find this to be very supportive for their body. So what you do is you stand with the foot that you want to work first down in the center of your body, and you step your opposite toe out to the side, and then everything else is exactly the same. We hinge the hips back, and then we powerfully press forward. But having that little kickstanded foot down to the side helps you really isolate and target the right. I'm using the right side first, so my right hamstring and glute, but you do still have to be really mindful of your form here. So we want to make sure that we hinge those hips back and keep the back flat by really engaging that transverse abdominal muscle. And you do that by bracing your core, using blueberry spine, all those things we practiced in our Foundations of Functional Fitness Day 1 Activation Trinity. In case you've used that, I know I just want to really encourage you to use that free resource anytime. That's a great activation sequence before a workout as well. So you could use it as a warm-up. I'm going to step my right foot out to the side this time and kickstand the toe, hinge my hips back, working the left leg. You can do your reps, and if you're doing the first variation with both feet on the ground, you may already be finished up. So just do a little stretching and hang in there, and I'll be right with you. Keep up the great work, rock stars. Whatever variation you're doing is great. I want you to have options so that you can do these workouts in lots of different places. Great job. When you've evened it out and you've got your reps on both sides, in case you're doing that single leg variation, you can set your weights aside, take a breather. We'll do our triceps next. So you want to check in with yourself. How did that first set feel? Was it just the right amount of weight, or do you want to go up a little bit in resistance? Your choice. We're seated, we're bracing through the core, arms come up overhead, and we drop them back and then lift them up. Really important here not to let the elbows come out to the side. You could also do this one standing, absolutely fine. I like having it seated today. Oh, I'm feeling it. Get to the top of your rep range, rock stars, and then set your weights aside. Whew. Great job. Be sure to stay hydrated or refuel up with your aminos. And we've got one last set to do. 45-degree curls coming at you. So choose your weight amount, deciding on how you're going to get into that 8 to 12 rep range for this last set. What's going to challenge you? Maybe you want to work on being down closer to that 8 rep range for this set. Shoulders back, core braced. We curl it out to the side. Lower it down with control. Curl to the side. Elbows stay in close to your body, right? We can control the movement, but it's challenging. Nice. Keep those shoulders back. Keep the chest open. Here's another one that the cactus arms move really helps with. Nice. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Ah! Come on, rock stars, you got this. Finish strong. Great work. When you get to the top of your rep range, safely set aside your weighted objects. Take a breather, shake it out. Feel free to stretch those arms. And we'll move into our last set for today of deadlifts. Challenge yourself here in this last set. I want you to be able to be in that 8 to 12 rep range, whether it's a single leg variation or you're working your way up in the 2 legs down variation and you've got something that feels challenging for you. Let's step into our stance. Shoulders back, core braced, hinging back with the hips with a flat back, squeezing the glutes at the top. Very much a hip press, right? We've hit both squats and deadlifts today. Very, very different moves, right? With the squat, you're pressing the ground away from you. With the hip hinge here, with this deadlift, you are pressing your hips forward. Although you don't arch your back, you come up straight and strong. Nice. Great work. Hinge, press. Hinge, and press. You got this. When you get to the top of your rep range, you can set aside your weighted objects. Don't let me rush you. You might be doing 2 different sides, or you may be done. Great work. When you're ready, we'll do those triceps. Last set, best set, right? Yeah, here we go. Go ahead and choose the best amount of resistance for yourself to be in that 8 to 12 rep range for this last set. Sit up tall, brace through your core, shoulders back. I like to press my weights together if I'm holding 2, bring them up overhead, lower down, and then straight arms back up. Nice. Elbows are working to stay parallel as best we can. Nice. So we're not letting them come out wide on purpose. You got this. When you get to the top of your rep range, oh my gosh, great job. Set aside your weighted objects. Amazing job on today's workout. Thank you so much for joining me. Feel free to do some cool down stretching now. And if you enjoy these types of low impact sculpting sessions, you would love our low impact sculpt challenge series inside Rock Your Life. We have lots of low impact classes to choose from and a variety of other styles of training as well if you're looking for something different. I would love to invite you in, so be sure to grab that link just below this video and take a trial to Rock Your Life. Check out everything that we've got in there. We've got the healthy recipes covered for you. We've got the workouts covered for you. Really effective workout programming for women and for women in different life stages, because that is really important to have access to that kind of information that changes as we change, right? And I've got you covered. So come on, check out Rock Your Life, get a trial, and I would love to support you on your health and fitness journey. Till next time, I'm Betty Rocker, and you are so awesome, blossom, and amazing. Bye for now.